What did the Buddha say about ghosts? The question of ghosts often evokes images of shadowy figures, ethereal forms, and chilling encounters. It's a topic that has fascinated and frightened people for centuries. However, when we look at the teachings of the Buddha, we find a perspective that is both profound and practical, one that shifts our focus from fear to understanding. The Buddha, rather than directly affirming or denying the existence of ghosts in the way we commonly perceive them, directed his attention to the mechanics of karma and the cycle of rebirth. He wasn't interested in sensationalism or spooky stories. His primary concern was helping us understand the nature of suffering and how to free ourselves from it. The Buddha's teachings do not ignore the existence of beings that might be considered spirits. Instead, they offer a framework for understanding these beings within the context of the vast tapestry of existence. The term often used is pettas, which are frequently translated as hungry ghosts. These beings are not the scary, malevolent spirits of popular lore. They are beings who are experiencing intense suffering due to their past negative actions. These actions created the conditions for them to be reborn into a state of perpetual hunger, thirst, or other forms of deprivation. The Pettavathu, a collection of stories within the Buddhist canon, details the experiences of these beings, highlighting how their past deeds have led to their present state. One particular teaching that sheds light on this is the Tirukutta Sutta, found within the Khuddaka Nikaya. This discourse tells of how deceased relatives can be reborn as pittas as a result of their past actions. The sutta explains that these beings are often unable to receive food or nourishment, and they exist in a state of constant yearning. However, the sutta also provides a path for helping these beings. It describes how merit, earned through good deeds and virtuous actions, can be transferred to these suffering relatives, offering them some relief from their plight. This act of transferring merit is a powerful expression of compassion and a practical application of the Buddhist concept of interconnectedness. It shows that our actions can have an impact on others, even those who have passed away. It's important to understand that the Buddha's teachings on pittas are not about creating fear or promoting superstition. Rather, they serve as a reminder of the consequences of our actions. They urge us to live our lives with integrity and compassion, knowing that our choices have a ripple effect that extends far beyond our immediate experience. The concept of pittas is not about spooky encounters, but about the consequences of greed, attachment, and unwholesome actions. It's a call to cultivate generosity, detachment, and ethical conduct. Now, some might wonder if the experiences of people who claim to have seen ghosts are real. It is true that meditation can expand our perception and awareness. Research in neuroplasticity has shown that the brain is capable of change and adaptation. Through meditation, individuals may indeed experience shifts in their consciousness and perception. However, these shifts should not be interpreted as concrete evidence of ghosts. Instead, they should be understood as a testament to the flexibility and potential of the human mind. The Buddha's teachings focus on understanding the nature of our minds and how they shape our experience of reality. It's not about chasing after sensational experiences or validating beliefs in ghosts. It's about cultivating wisdom and compassion, which ultimately leads to liberation from suffering. Life after death in Buddhism. The question of what happens after death is a fundamental human concern. The Buddha's teachings offer a unique perspective, one that is not based on the idea of a permanent soul, but on the continuous stream of consciousness. The moment of death is not an end, but a transition. The Marana Sati Sutta, which focuses on the contemplation of death, encourages us to reflect on the impermanent nature of life. This reflection helps us to appreciate the preciousness of each moment and to live with greater awareness and purpose. According to the Abhidhamma, a detailed analysis of Buddhist psychology, the mental and emotional states we experience at the time of death play a crucial role in determining our next rebirth. If we die with feelings of greed, attachment, or anger, we are more likely to be reborn in a lower realm, such as that of a Pitta. These negative states create a momentum that carries us into a cycle of suffering. On the other hand, if we die with feelings of peace, compassion, and wisdom, we are more likely to be reborn in a higher realm. This understanding highlights the importance of cultivating a wholesome mind and letting go of negative emotions. The Buddha taught that the craving for existence is a primary cause of suffering. This craving, fueled by ignorance and attachment, keeps us trapped in the cycle of rebirth. When we die, the energy of our craving propels us into a new existence. If we have a strong attachment to material possessions, relationships, or our own ego, we are more likely to be reborn in a realm where we experience a constant sense of lack and dissatisfaction. The teachings on Pittas are a reminder of the consequences of this attachment. They show that when we cling to things that are impermanent, we create the conditions for suffering. It's important to note that Buddhism does not teach the existence of a permanent soul that transmigrates from one life to the next. Instead, it teaches that consciousness is a continuous stream of mental and emotional experiences, like a river that is constantly flowing. This stream of consciousness is not a fixed entity, but a dynamic process that is constantly changing and evolving. The Buddha's teachings focus on understanding this process and how to free ourselves from the cycle of suffering. The nature of consciousness after death remains a subject of ongoing scientific inquiry and is not yet fully understood. While researchers continue to explore the complexities of consciousness through various scientific methods, the Buddha's teachings offer a different approach. Rather than focusing on proving or disproving the existence of life after death, the Buddha's teachings provide a practical path for understanding and transforming our own experience of consciousness in this present life. The focus is on cultivating wisdom and compassion here and now, allowing us to live with greater awareness, purpose, and ethical integrity. The Buddha's teachings are not intended to create fear or anxiety about death or the unknown. Instead, they are meant to inspire us to live with kindness, wisdom, and mindfulness, making the most of our present existence. The emphasis is on personal transformation and liberation from suffering, rather than on speculation about what might happen after death. The teachings encourage us to focus on our actions, thoughts, and intentions in this life, as these are the factors that shape our experience. Why spirits exist but aren't what we think. The true nature of ghosts. The common understanding of ghosts often conjures images of shadowy figures, eerie sounds, and unsettling encounters. These portrayals, frequently seen in popular culture, tend to evoke fear and a sense of the unknown. However, when we approach this topic from a Buddhist perspective, we discover a different understanding, one that is rooted in empathy and a deep insight into the nature of suffering. In Buddhism, the beings often referred to as ghosts are more accurately understood as pittas, or hungry ghosts. These are not malevolent spirits seeking to harm the living. Instead, they are beings experiencing intense suffering due to the consequences of their past negative actions. As the Buddha himself stated, All beings are the owners of their actions, heirs to their actions, born of their actions, related through their actions, and have their actions as their refuge. This highlights the central role of karma in shaping our experiences. The key difference between the popular concept of ghosts and the Buddhist understanding of pittas lies in the emphasis on karma and the cycle of rebirth. While popular culture often depicts ghosts as disembodied spirits lingering in a particular location, Buddhism explains that pittas are beings who have been reborn into a specific state of existence due to their past actions. These actions, rooted in greed, attachment, and unwholesome intentions, create the conditions for rebirth in a realm characterized by constant craving and dissatisfaction. The pittas are not stuck in a particular place. They are experiencing a state of consciousness that reflects their past karma. Their suffering is not intended as punishment, but is a natural consequence of their actions. A concept the Buddha often illustrated through the law of cause and effect. The experiences of meditation teachers offer a valuable perspective on the nature of these beings. Throughout history, many Buddhist practitioners have encountered pittas during their meditation practice. These encounters are not typically frightening or dramatic, as portrayed in popular culture. Instead, they are often characterized by a sense of empathy and a deep understanding of the suffering of these beings. For example, the Pettavatthu stories detail various instances of pittas appearing to monks, often with physical deformities and insatiable hunger, a direct result of their past greed and miserliness. One story describes a pitta with a body like a mountain, but a mouth as small as a needle's eye, forever unable to satisfy its hunger. These encounters are not meant to be sensational or to create fear. They are meant to inspire empathy and to deepen our understanding of the consequences of our actions. As the Buddha said, "The mind is the forerunner of all things. Mind is supreme. Mind is the maker." This emphasizes the power of our thoughts and intentions in shaping our reality. It's important to remember that the Buddhist understanding of pittas is not about promoting superstition or fear. It's about understanding the nature of suffering and the consequences of our actions. The teachings on pittas serve as a reminder of the importance of cultivating generosity, detachment, and ethical conduct. They urge us to live our lives with integrity and empathy, knowing that our choices have a ripple effect that extends far beyond our immediate experience. This is in line with the Buddha's teaching that by oneself is evil done. By oneself is one defiled. By oneself is evil avoided. By oneself is one purified. Purity and impurity depend on oneself. No one can purify another. Some might wonder if there is a scientific explanation for the phenomena often associated with haunted places. Research into electromagnetic fields has shown that such fields can be present in certain locations and can sometimes affect human perception. However, this does not conclude that ghosts are simply electromagnetic fields. The Buddhist perspective focuses on the mental and emotional states that lead to rebirth in different realms. It emphasizes the importance of understanding the nature of our minds and how they shape our experience of reality. It's not about finding scientific explanations for supernatural phenomena, but about cultivating understanding and empathy, aligning with the Buddha's emphasis on self-knowledge and inner transformation. The connection between mind and spirit world. The Buddhist teachings emphasize the profound connection between our minds and our experience of reality. The concept that mind precedes all phenomena is a central tenet in Buddhist philosophy. This does not mean that the external world is a mere illusion or that it does not exist. Instead, it means that our perception of the world is shaped by our mental states, thoughts, and emotions. Our minds act as filters, interpreting the world around us according to our past experiences, biases, and beliefs. This principle also applies to our understanding of the spiritual realm. Our perception of spirits or other non-physical beings is shaped by our mental state, our beliefs, and our level of awareness. The Buddha often spoke of the mind's power, saying, "All that we are is the result of what we have thought." The Buddha's teachings to Kevata, as recorded in the Digha Nikaya, provide valuable insights into the nature of psychic phenomena. Kevata, a householder, asked the Buddha about the validity of psychic powers and miracles. The Buddha explained that while such powers may exist, they are not the ultimate goal of the spiritual path. Instead, the Buddha emphasized the importance of cultivating understanding and empathy. He discouraged the pursuit of psychic powers for their own sake, as they can lead to attachment and distraction from the path to liberation. The Buddha stated, "One should not perform miracles before the unfaithful. One should not show psychic powers to those who do not believe." This emphasizes the importance of focusing on inner transformation rather than seeking external validation or sensational experiences. Research in neuroscience and brain imaging has provided some interesting insights into the connection between the mind and the experience of supernatural phenomena. Studies have shown that certain brain areas are activated during deep meditation and during experiences that are often described as spiritual or supernatural. However, these findings should not be interpreted as proof of the existence of ghosts or other supernatural entities. Instead, they should be understood as a testament to the power of the mind and its ability to shape our perception of reality. The Buddhist perspective emphasizes that our experience of the spiritual realm is deeply intertwined with our mental states. When we cultivate mindfulness, empathy, and understanding, we are able to perceive the world, both physical and spiritual, with greater clarity and insight. As the Buddha taught, it is in this very body, 6 feet in length, with its sense impressions, thoughts, and ideas, that I declare the world, the origin of the world, the cessation of the world, and the path that leads to the cessation of the world. The concept that mind precedes all phenomena is not about denying the existence of the external world. It's about recognizing that our experience of the world is subjective and that our minds play a crucial role in shaping that experience. This understanding encourages us to take responsibility for our thoughts, emotions, and perceptions. It urges us to cultivate a wholesome mind, free from greed, hatred, and delusion, as this is the foundation for a more peaceful and fulfilling life. The Buddha's teachings emphasize that the way is not in the sky, the way is in the heart. Finding freedom from fear. The Buddhist path is ultimately a path to freedom, a freedom from suffering, fear, and all the limitations that bind us. This freedom is not something that is given to us by an external force. It is something that we cultivate through our own efforts, through the practice of mindfulness, meditation, and ethical conduct. The fear of ghosts, like all fears, is rooted in ignorance and attachment. When we are ignorant of the true nature of reality, we tend to cling to our fears and anxieties. The Buddhist path provides a way to overcome this ignorance and to free ourselves from the grip of fear. The focus of Buddhist practice is not on ghost hunting or trying to prove or disprove the existence of supernatural phenomena. Instead, it is on cultivating inner peace and understanding. The Buddha taught that the best way to overcome fear is to cultivate mindfulness, which means paying attention to our thoughts, emotions, and sensations without judgment. When we are mindful, we are able to see our fears clearly and without the distortions of our biases and anxieties. This allows us to let go of our fears and to live with greater freedom and peace. As the Buddha said, mindfulness is the path to the deathless. Neuroscience has also shown that Buddhist practices can rewire the brain's fear response. Studies have indicated that meditation can reduce activity in the amygdala, the part of the brain that is associated with fear and anxiety. This means that through the practice of meditation, we can actually change the way our brains respond to fear. This is a powerful testament to the transformative potential of Buddhist practices. The Buddha's teachings offer a practical and effective way to overcome fear and to live with greater peace and well-being. Beyond the practices of mindfulness and meditation, the Buddhist path also emphasizes the importance of ethical conduct. When we live our lives with integrity, kindness, and compassion, we create a more peaceful and harmonious world for ourselves and for others. This ethical foundation is essential for overcoming fear and for cultivating a more fulfilling life. The Buddha taught, "One is one's own master. Who else could be the master?" With oneself fully controlled, one gains a mastery that is hard to gain. The practical ethical guidelines and meditation techniques that are taught in Buddhism are not just abstract concepts. They are tools that we can use in our daily lives to reduce fear and to cultivate compassion. These tools help us to understand the nature of our minds, to let go of our attachments, and to live with greater awareness and purpose. The Buddhist path is not about escaping from reality. It is about engaging with reality with greater wisdom, empathy, and freedom. The Buddha's teachings offer a path to liberation from suffering, a path that is open to all, regardless of their background or beliefs.